What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely incredible. Happy Valentine's Day. Got a little holiday trading going on. It's just beautiful. We got Al in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to Albert. Good morning to Anna, Andy, Bill, Brad, Cheryl, Cindy's in the house. Good morning to you. We got Frank. Good morning. Georgia, GW, Jared. Good morning to Jeff, JT, Keith, Lauren, Lucian, Malik, Martina. Peter, Ray, Shane. We got Shane Summers in the house. Good morning to you. We got Tim. Oh, the squadron is here. I love it. You guys make my Valentine's Day so special. I love it. Reese in YouTube land. Good morning to you. Leonard's in the house. Wyven, good morning to you. Did I say that right? Or is it just like Ivan, but with a Y? Either one. It's cool. Welcome. Welcome. All my lurkers in the background of YouTube. They're just not gonna just refusing to say anything the whole time. It's okay. I still love you. Hit that like and subscribe button. But let's see how today goes. Yesterday, we were talking about a good possible maybe bullish move. Which we were right on. I wasn't expecting this strong of a move, to be honest. We did have Trump talking. I think it was like 1 o'clock, although I think it was like 40 minutes late to the meeting. But basically talking about reciprocal taxes and or tariffs, and usually the market won't like the tariff talk a lot. However, he kind of gave a little bit of a potential out for some of the countries. So he said if we'll go pretty much country by country. Everyone's on a case by case basis, but if you lower your tariffs to us, we'll lower ours to you, and we'll see what happens. So, kind of gave a little bit of an exit plan for some of the countries that are tariffing the U.S. And the market kind of responded pretty decent to it. So it wasn't all negative talk, but we held beautifully the VPOC from yesterday. So 603.40, great bounce spot. We were able to make it through very strong support or resistance, 604.77. We got through every single level, including last but not least, and I think that is the highest one. Yep. So we have 609.53, somewhere in that range. And we got to close. Not only did we get to it, we actually closed above it. So fairly strong. Uh, Really good consolidation I've seen for the last couple of weeks. I've been on the case of maybe we see like a pretty just extended sideways chop. Maybe that still happens. Maybe we just settle right back inside day and we just whatever the case. But for right now, it does look like we're just breaking bullish out of that. That's a great location. I have no choice really but to be bullish, kind of going forward from here. So we'll see. But we got until obviously the weekend and some crazy news happens and Black Swan, everyone gets trapped, and that would be the craziest trap I've ever seen if we do something. We start opening on like 592, something like that. But Lucia says 40 minutes late. Sounds like the presidential nap waker upper still. Well, yeah, Doge didn't get to the nap waker job yet. Doge hasn't cleaned that position yet. So we'll see. Apparently, they could just replace the nap waker upper person as with an alarm clock. Save a lot of money. But yeah, let's see if we get a small little pullback. I think we're just inside day, almost not even. Where's the high of this day? We're outside by a penny. We'll see where this thing opens. Right at the top of it. The next real challenge for the market is the high end of this, the wick of this one. Psychologically, we'll probably get a little resistance there. Ultimately, I think we break through. So the high of that candle is 610.78. And 610.79, we hit all-time highs in the SPY just like that. So we will see. But otherwise, yeah, I think any chop ends up breaking in the bullish direction. That is quite the candle that we put in yesterday. So if we end up breaking underneath it, you're gonna have to look for support around 608.83. The next one would be about a 50% retracement of that candle, 607.09, and then probably back to like 604.80. But I don't think I don't know. I don't even want to see yesterday's VPOC be taken out. I'll give it a little room down to like 603.83 after that. Probably just a deep inside retest, but I don't know. I think we stay kind of bullish here. Peter says SOUN. Some in RLT community mentioned a sell-off from Nvidia. We'll pull that one up next. We'll see. The Qs. Also strong candle. Really good close. If we come back for a retest, which we are still above 2 days of support, the fact that we got above and we held is pretty spectacular. If we cannot hold, so if we start opening, we get candles that start closing 535.66. That would take me down to like 532.83, which is a decent pullback. That's still about halfway, maybe 61% retracement of yesterday's candle. So I don't know. Is today right before a 3-day weekend? By the way, we're not open on Monday, and market is going to be closed. Just FYI, it is a President's Day, so market will be closed. We do have a 3-day weekend ahead of us. Otherwise, I really don't even want to see that get taken out for bull case. But if we get some chop and then we need next week to kind of take off, it is what it is. But otherwise, I got my targets to 538.73. I could see us hitting that and then ahead of a 3-day weekend. Maybe we don't close above it, but it looks like we have some serious bulls starting to step in. SOUN. And says, Happy Valentine's Day from the Lurker. That's a signature on cards you don't see that much. Yeah, no, I like it. Well, happy Valentine's Day to you too. We got a Soundhound. That is they're saying selling off from Nvidia. Soundhound AI shares fall pre-bell after Nvidia filing shows exiting of stakes. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. I think one of the few reasons that they were up in the first place is because of Nvidia. So exiting on stakes is not good. Not good. That essentially the fact that Nvidia was interested in them was the bull case. Now what do they do from here? Yeah, that's not good. I got room all the way down to like $9.91 on Soundhound. Um, maybe you get some buying for like a retest. It's not even from last 2 days, kind of a gap and go to the bear side. If you get any type of movement in the bullish direction, I think I would look to fade that one. I don't see what the case would be to buy it. Like why? I don't know. I don't know. You got earnings coming out, so maybe they stayed in there long enough. I'm not sure, but yeah, that looks like a rough time for net. Like they were moving on the story. The story just exited some shares, so that's not great. Yeah, I'm gonna look for a fade on that one. I'm gonna look short. It's got plenty of room to the downside still. To get down to 11, no, or to get down to 990, let's say, from 1148 is a big move. All right, well, you will keep that one on the list for sure. And let's see. We got Coinbase. Let's check out Bitcoin first, BTC, USD. And says you do call us lurkers. That's true. I only call you guys lurkers because you guys are lurking. That's it. That's the only reason. To be fair, to be fair. But and you've officially not become a lurker because you just commented in the chat of YouTube. So this is a proud day for me. This is a proud day for me. I'm excited. We converted a lurker into a non-lurker. Beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. All right, we got Bitcoin. Bitcoin is kind of just chilling inside day, not a lot happening. Coinbase, they did have earnings, so they have a separate reason to do things today besides just relying on Bitcoin. Pretty spectacular. Earnings per share up 120% higher than expectations, so not bad there. They came in with an extra 430 million. So what in the world is happening? You got no movement. You just killed calls. You killed all the puts. That's dirty. That's dirty. Yeah. So opening down slightly. Again, wasn't a bad report. Bitcoin isn't moving. I was saying I think this should be a good report because again, the last earnings was when Bitcoin started to really take off, and those numbers in the last like couple weeks leading up to this wasn't included in those numbers. Now, you've had a good run on everyone going, hey, wait, hold on. Yeah, we sold off, but Bitcoin is going crazy right now, and that's going to help out Coinbase a lot. So I think going into this, it was probably, I mean, maybe not. I don't know. I didn't interview everybody, but for me at least, I was kind of thinking these would be good numbers. So maybe they're starting to get priced in a little bit. And I don't know what I don't know what the forecast was. I don't know what the guidance was on this one because Bitcoin really hasn't moved in a while, and that's going to probably end up hurting Coinbase. But other than that, yeah, not a great follow through on this one. Depends on where we opened. 2 seconds ago, we were above this number, but watch for like 291.35. If we could get back above it, there'll be a case where some buy the dippers might come in up to like 295.68. Otherwise, we not only did the numbers become quite decent, but we didn't get any movement. But we've also got the movement off of Hood yesterday. So Hood reported what two nights ago. Another reason that everyone's like, okay, maybe Coinbase is going to go too. So you even had one extra day of just some buying in this one. So maybe just people were expecting good, they got good, and then they took their gains. But yeah, a little bit of a wild after hours on them. But if we open below it, you got one little support somewhere around 289.91. If that breaks, you get a bigger move to the downside, 283.56. The fact that it's not really holding up, I kind of want to say that we probably have a little bit more selling on this one as opposed to buy the dippers coming in. We got Airbnb, and then I see DraftKings and Tesla as well. So we get to those. We got Airbnb. Yeah, so Airbnb had really good earnings, which is a rarity for them. It's not really a rarity. They usually do decent on their earnings. I guess hit or miss. But for the most part, pretty decent on earnings. Then they usually come in and they I don't know what metric they use, but everybody hates it. Whatever metric they use, typically they report decent and then it just gets to sell. Um, Really good gap on this one. I'm in it. I have shares to the long term, so I have no reason to sell or do anything into this. Interesting location that we're at. So we are into like that next volume zone. See if I would see if you start breaking this 161 zone. 160.99. If you start getting under that, you probably have decent room down to like 157.04. It's a small move. And then into like 154.41-ish, something like that. But otherwise, I'd probably expect a little chop here. You do have your resistance up to like 162.45. And again, if that starts to break or you start to break 162.90, that might give you a little bit more push to the higher side, but held up fairly well after earnings. So really good move on them. It is a retest technically, but you're taking out a lot. I think you probably just chop around up here today. I don't. It's going to be tough to go bullish when you're up so much already on this one, and you're just in between two little decent volume zones, and we're probably just playing pinball back and forth. But I think all the work was probably done last night on this one. Now the question for today is does it hold or not? And we've been holding. All right, I got Tesla right here, so it's an easy click. So we'll go to this one first. We did get to play this one twice yesterday. The same exact entry, same stop, same results. We hit 1.2 on both, so nice little pattern it was thrown in for us. For today, we do have now this would be the third day, so 2 days of buying and we get a gap up. Is that enough for a pullback? I don't know. I don't think so. I like where we're opening. I had resistance somewhere around this 359 30 zone, something like that. We did run right into that, and the bulls are still saying, don't worry, we're still here. So small pullback at open, give me slightly under 360, and then I think you have a lot of room to continue this bullish push into a much bigger number, which would take us into about 368.85, 369. You get about $9 more to the higher side. So I'll keep that on watch list. If you get a little pullback, see what happens again, somewhere around, I don't know, 359.30, 359.25. If we could hold that level, great. If we start to lose it, then I'm not looking for probably another bounce until 352.68. Retest at least some of this, but plenty of room to continue this trend up higher on Tesla. DKNG, the drafty, nice earning miss on everything. So good miss here. So the interesting thing is you did have your miss. Usually the last quarter of the year, which is essentially where these earnings are coming from, it's a little bit slower for sports betting. There's not too much big sports that happen. The um the one thing that does play into this though is the Super Bowl. So the Super Bowl numbers are not in any of their numbers that they released. So that's all going to be pushed out into guidance and based on how good it was for them for Super Bowl, which they do already know, that's going to affect their guidance. So even though you had your miss on this one, they are still rallying it up. It looked like it had great momentum running into this thing. Do we hold this level? I don't know. We're at an interesting spot for sure. You're at your support slash and or maybe sometimes resistance, but we are slightly above it. So if we can hold, this is everything has got retest all over this thing. But if we could hold this 48.72 zone, and we don't break it, if we break it, I think we have that short, and then you probably see a decent pullback on this one, more of a retest. But until that breaks 48.72, I wouldn't go short on this one. Believe it or not, I would actually stay long on DraftKings. However, you probably don't have a great risk to reward to go long here. I've got nowhere to throw stops unless intraday gives me maybe some kind of high wave candle. But I'm still looking at like 49.23 is big resistance. The top of this candle, which I think we were almost at $50 or we hit 50 yesterday after hours. But this psychological top of this candle, 49.57, and then you do have that $50 kind of coming back in. So maybe not a heck of a lot of room. I don't think I want to short this one until it tells me like, yeah, okay, maybe short. And that would look something similar to almost let it break down that key zone. So we'll just imagine that's the spot. Probably breaks down, comes up, retest, and then on this retest, that's when I'll probably look for some kind of short on DraftKings if it's going to give it to me. Otherwise, unless this thing just has an absolutely fantastic day. The other thing to watch out for is I mean, to say we can't really go higher and just climb through all this, and I don't know if it's going to happen today. But we now have a whole heck of a lot of volume below us, even if we're flipping to a weekly chart. Do we have anything on the weekly? No, not enough data on the weekly yet. But we are above all of that, and there's nothing really holding us back except for some bigger levels up here, long-term consolidation. So maybe an interesting spot to sell some cover calls. I don't know if I'm going to do that today. I don't know. Yeah, Baba. I think there's a China AI meeting or something like that happening, conference on Tuesday. And guess who is going to be the key speaker? Jack Ma. So he's back. He goes into hiding. People can't find him. There's search teams out looking for him, and then all of a sudden he is back. So he's back. Yeah, I've been watching some of these levels. By the way, my next target on this one, immediate target, will take me into. I think I got a little higher than this. So the next level up, I got nothing really holding me back from more continuation today. But the next level is about 140. Again, small level, not too much resistance. The one after that's a little bit more. Uh, okay, it's 150, 153. Nothing crazy. The next real target I have on this thing is actually up to like 176.58 short term. So even though we've had a good move, and keep in mind this is I don't know how that conference is going to go. We're probably going to get some love on the lead up into it, I would assume. And I don't know if it's like I don't know exactly what time in China that's happening. So I don't know if we wake up Tuesday when the owl market's open and the conference has already happened, or we got to wait till. So I don't know on that, but um, it could be like an Apple conference where a typical one where everyone's all hyped up and loving everything, and then it's a disappointing conference where we just sell because we've run into it. But this thing has got a lot of room in it, and the next stop for me, yeah, somewhere up into like 171, 175. somewhere up into that zone would be pretty much my next target. So I think I have a lot of room to climb, and then obviously we get through that. We'll discuss it at that point. But retest gap, however, so you got one, two, three, four, five big days in a row. Just going from $80 to 126 at open today. Massive move. You might get some selling, high wave candle, something like that, but I think this one continues to go bullish, and I wouldn't be shocked if Baba does something absolutely crazy. Twilio, TWLO, but then again, I am full biased on that one, so keep keep in mind. Everything I just said is all coming from biases. Uh, yeah, not a great gap on Twilio. Twilio looks like a pretty fantastic short. You might get some buying it open. If you do, the proper or the better spot too short on this one would be somewhere around 138.35 if you get it. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little run up. Other than that, because again, the Bulls are going to want to protect this gap. So this is a great, fantastic gap and go. You are at the bottom of this one. So even for a bullish case, and nothing about this one looks bullish whatsoever. This is off an earnings per share miss. I don't know what guidance was, but they did beat on revenue by $11 million. So we had a nice little gap up here. Anyone that's in this one, all the bulls, they're going to want to try to protect it, even if you're throwing a stop somewhere around here. I'm not saying this is at all a recommendation or to do this or don't do it. It's just do your own thing. But if I'm taking a trade right at open, providing this is where we open, we're still inside this high wave candle. I'm going to have really good risk to reward if I'm like this thing is going to get some kind of retest. But I think if this candle starts to break down, you do have that continuation down. What I would like to see is probably something just kind of get bid up here, and then I don't know if it happens immediately today or next couple days, but then you have a big old gap fill, something like that. So we'll see what happens on this one, but it doesn't look like I really want to be bullish. So the only thing is you do have some risk reward if that candle doesn't break. So I wouldn't be shocked if some buyers step in at open on that one. Apple, another one with a really pretty decent looking day yesterday. That one looks like it wants to go for more too. Um, for today, you're gonna have to. We are below yesterday's VPOC, so look for resistance somewhere around 140. No, 140. Yeah, don't look for resistance there. 241.25, which we are below that now. There's not much really holding us back. Next support, I think your next really good support, if you get a pullback on this one, if you want to try to continue what looks like a decent move bullish, and we probably end up breaking through this candle at some point. Even though this is a big red candle, this entire thing was a retest, and then it has held nicely. You get those higher lows in there. I wouldn't even mind attempting a swing trade if we pull back into 239.50 or somewhere in that zone. But I do think that this is something that breaks out, and I think eventually we are looking at 255, 259.29, and then all-time highs again on Apple. We got past earnings, we got past everything, and now we're just into the good graces of if the market breaks out higher to all-time highs, this would look decent. EXPE, Expedia. This one's probably a sympathy off of Airbnb, which Airbnb was a sympathy off of EXPE, so they're just kind of playing off each other at this point. Um, looks decent. You're above every single VPOC ever, so not a bad open at all. I think I would treat this one a little bit more, I think like a retest. So the closest this one comes back down to 203.24. That's probably your buy zone. Just because you will have, again, it's not a huge deal, but the high end of this wick, the top tick of this wick, 207.73. I can imagine that being some kind of resistance again and ultimately probably breaks through based on the looks of how this is opening today. But if you can get some pullback on this one, treat it as inside day here, get some kind of a pullback, and then I think this one will be ready to go. But only problem is it's you're hoping to get those breakouts, and so far it hasn't really disappointed. Just been kind of hanging out after that big gap up, which is nice. MU, what is that one doing? Good gap up there. Again, pretty intense stock. Every single time this one opens, it's looking completely different, so not bad. But yeah, good gap up with this one. It's up about just under $3. It is technically a retest gap from yesterday. You do have a lot of resistance coming in at $99.45. You also have your 100 and your 200 there. Probably want to retest. I don't think I really want to retest into yesterday's candle to be completely bullish. Worst case, I think 95.87 was where I want that retest to come into. Otherwise, with this type of gap, I really want to stop somewhere around this 96.64 if we could get any type of pullback on this one. If you start breaking out of 99.58, even to that point, you have your 200 coming in. Otherwise, I don't, and that might hold us for today. Otherwise, I think your next target up is probably into this 103.15 zone, but give me some kind of little bit better setup on this one. Come down a little bit. It is MU. It will do some wild things. You got 2 days of buying with a decent resistance right above you, so I think it can happen. All right, what else am I looking for? UPS. I'm mad at UPS actually because I wanted to buy them at 107. I got my alert set, 107.48. Got all the way down to 109.38 and just couldn't finish the job. It's okay. We'll let it slide. Other than that, you do have pretty decent move, decent location. Your next volume zone that's going to be a struggle where the Bears want to keep this thing down. It's probably about 117.89. So if we can get above it, you're free range roaming into an abyss of nothingness, which will get you probably next target up to like 122.90. For today, it is a retest gap. Very high end of yesterday's candle. I would see if you can get a pullback on this one into 115.73, see if it can hold there. Psychologically for today, again, this 117.37 zone is the last time we had any kind of volume. And then targets for today, extended targets, I think would be about 118.04. If we can somehow figure out to get through it, then watch out for that 20 that's approaching somewhere around 119.29, an extremely bullish move. But other than that, yeah, at least get me a little bit of a pullback first. Otherwise, not bad though. Not bad. Could get that continuation. I do like the location a lot, and bullish would be the direction for me. All right, let's see. What other stocks did I miss? Did I cover them all? No, I had to have missed something. TLT. TLT. Yeah, that one popped. The only thing that gaps more than MU is TLT. But yeah, good location. Look for resistance around 89, 82 on a pullback. You're not too far away. 89.24. Other than that, you guys have been absolutely incredible in YouTube land. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe buttons. And I will catch you guys on Tuesday. Keep in mind, market's closed.